Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Kay Murray, Stuart Robson, Craig Burley, and we've got Don Hutchison with us as well. In fact, a couple of the guys have been on their travels this week. We've got Robbo up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yep, covering a game up there, Green Bay. Yeah. Don's been to Legoland.
Yeah. he nearly got himself banned.
Nearly got himself into a fight in Legoland. There he is.
Yes.
Where's the Lego?
Oh, God, Don, more kids.
Who's the biggest Muppet?
More kids. I tell you what it was. It was a basketball competition, and you had, what was it now? It was a £5 for 3 balls. It was a tenner for 5 balls and 20 quid for 15 balls. So I've gone 20 quid, and you've got to get 3 baskets, but they were like proper tight. I mean, like you looked at the hoop, and you looked at your ball, and you were like, yeah, like they've tightened this up, like you've got to be spot on. But my technique, Kate, honestly, I was like Kobe, bro. I was like, my technique was like beautiful. So I got the 3 in. The worst part was it was boiling, and I had to carry those 3 massive dogs around the whole way round of Legoland for all of the day. I was a hero, but my God, I was sweating afterwards.
Well, just think what it'll be like when you're back there with your grandkids.
Well, there you go.
How much of a struggle will that be?
Well, 1 or 2 people there thought they weren't his grandkids.
Exactly. So tell me,
yeah, but the kids loved it. The kids thought I was a hero, though. Everyone else, all the dads were all walking around the park with 1 dog. I had 3.
Well, I think you're a hero having kids at your age.
Yeah.
What you stayed at Legoland, didn't you?
Yeah, stayed there 2 nights, yeah.
So what's obviously, what are the hotels made out of? I mean,
they are.
Cheap Lego rooms? No,
they look like Lego. Honestly, it's a good little trip. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more with the kids.
Where is Legoland again in England?
Windsor.
I thought it was Windsor.
Windsor.
It's outside London.
Meanwhile, Robbo, we really liked your jacket tonight, but apparently a kid saw it and ruined you.
Yeah, I went to a wedding. It was my stepdaughter's, actually, and I was given a speech on the occasion, but a young kid, probably about 7 or 8, asked if I had a cornetto. I think she was probably prompted by her mum and dad. Yes. I think, go ask that bloke whether he's got a cornetto, see what he says.
It sounds like it to me.
I gave her a clip round the ear and told her to get lost.
It's very nice. It's a bright jacket.
It's nice. Everyone's colour coordinated, but at least he's dry, because you nearly got caught by the sprinklers.
So how's Lambeau Field?
Lambeau Field was magnificent. 80,000 people inside it. It's a very historical ground. Do you know about it?
I don't know about it.
It's the Green Bay Packers ground.
Oh, I know about the Green Bay Packers ground, right?
And it's just a great historic ground.
Right.
And it's the first time any soccer...
Listen, don't stop there. Give us a bit of history.
Well, it's all about Vince Lombardi.
Give us some culture.
That's what it's all about, Vince Lombardi. It's the Vince Lombardi...
Trophy. The Vince Lombardi trophy, yeah.
Vince Lombardi bar, the Vince Lombardi restaurant. That's all it is.
Bit of everything.
Yeah, a bit of everything.
Right, apparently, cornetto is not the name here.
Ice cream.
An ice cream, yeah. An ice cream.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, they've not got the Just One Cornetto song?
Give it to me.
No.
All right.
Questions.
All right, questions. Stuart.
We don't have any answers, but ask the questions.
Well, Stuart, who are you most upset with for Sprinklergate?
I wasn't upset at all, because I needed to be cooled down, because it was very humid and very hot, so I didn't mind. I was wearing a cheap jacket, so it didn't really matter.
You're as cool.
I mean, all Lutz was worried about was his hair. Look, he keeps pointing the hair behind his ears.
Yeah, he needs a band. Tell me something. Have you been on this show since you've been over?
Look at John run out the way of it. That was pathetic effort from John. I just stood in there. It was hit me in the back. Don't worry about it. What's wrong?
What did you want John to do?
Stay in the rain. Tough it out.
Yeah, tough it out. Oh, look, the umbrella's coming out now.
No, you didn't wear a brolly.
No, I didn't. We had the blokes behind us held the brolly up, and then we went on air and they took the brollies away.
Have you been on the show with Stevie since you've been over?
Yeah.
And how was he after you aggressively accused him of a Liverpool bias? There's nobody argued when what he did.
One of the questions that came on the extra time was that did we get on? And I've always said Steve and I have never got on. We didn't like each other when we played against each other. We don't like each other on the show, and it's never going to change.
But he was muttering that night when you were in France and you shouted at him about your Liverpool bias. He wasn't happy.
Wasn't he?
No, not in a bad way.
He wasn't. Truth hurts, huh?
Yeah, truth hurts.
Don, what percentages for Manchester United finishing in the top 4 this season?
Wow. I mean, They ain't getting above Tottenham.
Right, so that's...
Yeah, go on then.
I'm just trying to think. I mean...
Chelsea?
No, wait for us. No, what's the percentage, Don? Come on.
I'm trying to get as close to 0 as possible. Because he ain't going to topple Man City. He ain't going to topple Liverpool. I don't think they'll topple Tottenham and Chelsea's. I'm going to have to go 0.
Wait for this. Where was West Ham in it? Every year you say West Ham are going to be in the top 4. What about this year?
And last year I was nearly right, wasn't I?
Well, they ended up 7th.
If they had got the January window while they were top 4th, they were 4th, Robbo, in January, and they didn't go out and strengthen.
It doesn't matter where they finished at Christmas. It's what they finished at the end of the season.
Because they didn't strengthen in January. They
never
prioritised the European Cup final, the Europa Cup final, instead of going out and getting a top striker in. That would have guaranteed them 4th. Now they've been correct.
Are you accusing another of our pundits for bias here?
Biased, absolutely. But every year, West Ham biased.
So that's a 0%. So he's biased against Man United as well.
0.
Out Don.
Definitely.
I mean, what you guys saying? It's got to be close to 0, no?
The question was for you, Don.
Yeah.
Okay.
We weren't being asked, Don.
Yeah.
Answer your own questions.
For everyone,
0.
how many pre-season matches did you need to play before you judged yourself fit enough to start the season? Could you be ready for the season even if you didn't play one single pre-season match?
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
No.
And in my day, which was a bit older than these two, you used to play your best team in pre-season every match. So we'd play 5-6 games, and you thought, I might be ready for that first game of the season. And then it'd be 90 degrees heat on the opening day of the season, which nobody liked. I never got to my best until about 4 or 5 games into the season when the weather started to calm down a bit.
So about 4 or 5 in pre-season, you're talking about 10 overall to be feeling.
But then we used to have 6 weeks off. I used to keep myself fit, but you had 6 weeks without playing football.
That's quite high maintenance, that, isn't it? It needs Robbo 10 games to get going.
Yeah.
To be at my very best,
9 out of 10.
Don. To be at my very best. I still got an 8 out of 10 in the other games. It was just 9 out of 10 after 10 matches.
Listen to Don. What did you need, Don?
Do you know what, Kay? I remember Peter Reid when I signed for Sunderland, and he put on this ridiculous run. It was like one of these runs that were was this one day where he just beasted everyone. It was a horrible run, and everyone was flat at their backs. And he was brilliant, really. Like, he'd come over and he went, "You remind me of me, son." He went, "You just love playing football, didn't you?" And I was knackered, and I went up to him, like, still breathing, and I said, "I tell you what, Gaffer," I said, "I'll do you a deal." I went, "Whenever these running days are on," I went, "sack them off for me, but I will play every single 90 minutes of pre-season games. It doesn't matter if it's a League Two side or where we're going. I just love to play football. I got more out of playing football than just running, just getting beasted, just getting hammered. I'd never had the motivation for it." But to answer the question, I'd probably say 2 games, 2 90 minutes.
2 games.
I remember a sea change at Chelsea, and there was a big sea change at Chelsea anyway, from a playing staff, but from a training perspective, I can almost remember it. It was like one year we were run, and then the next year, I think it was Hoddle or Hull it, and we didn't do any of that long running, and everything we did was with the ball. Every fitness exercise we did, we had 19% of the time we had a ball involved, because a lot of the philosophy was you're fit. That's how your fitness comes anyway, with the ball.
Yeah,
so there was less slogging, old-fashioned running down beaches and running round parks, and more fitness work on the training ground with the ball. But I'm the same. I remember playing 6 pre-season games, and the first Premier League game started, and I was like, because the pace is different.
Because nothing can actually...
The pressure was different as well.
Nothing can recreate what's actually happening.
And it's the same as a player coming back from an injury, particularly a longer term, 2 to 3 months or longer, and he goes into the reserves and he plays 3 or 4 games or whatever it is, and he feels great. And then he goes in the first team and it's an eye-opener, because the whole pace, as well as the pressure, but the whole pace of how the elite, the top level football is played, you just can't replicate that.
Okay.
So it takes a good few games. It's not that easy.
Unless you're Don. For Don, what has Everton got to do to finally have success? The owners
Minnesota.
The owners have invested money and backed all the managers since Martinez, and yet they're worse off now.
Well, I mean, they've not really backed Frank Lampard so far. I mean, Tarkowski's come in. They've lost Richarlison. They've had a bit of a sticky pre-season, as Craig said. They got battered out in America. I think they won, I think it was against Blackpool, 4-2 today. I think Dele Alli scored a couple. But I sent out a tweet, I think it was last night, is there any danger of Everton making some signings? Because, if they've lost Richarlison now and they were in the bottom three for the majority of last season, God knows where they're going to be, because they're not going to improve. You're not going to sell Richarlison, bring in a centre-back and then climb, 6, 7, 8 places up the league. So major reinforcements. Otherwise, this is going to be a horrible season to watch. I'm dreading it, really, because they need signings, need quality signings.
Yeah, but before they lost Richarlison last year, when they scraped up by the skin of their teeth, and it was more to do with how bad others were rather than what Everton did. They've got Tarkowski now from Burnley, but correct me if I'm wrong, he signed Donny van de Beek and he signed Dele Alli. I'm presuming it was him.
Yeah. True, but they need more, Craig. If you sign them two players, Donny van de Beek was on loan.
Yeah.
He got injured. Dele Alli just couldn't get going, and this is a huge season for him. But you still need more quality, Craig.
Oh no, I understand that, but even when he brought a couple of players in last year, they were no better off, were they?
No. And he must have known when he took the job that this was the case, that he wasn't going to get, the squad wasn't quite good enough, and he wasn't going to get loads and loads of money to spend at Everton this pre-season. So he's got to do the best he can with them.
What do you think about what your mate Frank said after the game, Don?
What did he say, Kay, again? Remind me.
He wasn't very happy, was he?
He said, I've just called Don Hutchison, but he's at Legoland and he hasn't got back to me.
But I'll wait for his tweet to see what he thinks.
No, I think it was one of them. I think he was honest in what he was saying.
I'll tell you what,
he's saying, give me these. He's saying,
you offer them to Frank.
Lampard is saying, give me these 4 and we'll stay up.
Yeah, he's offering those. You're on loan, and the 3, whatever they were, what are the Bears, Teddies?
Dogs.
That's the back 4 sorted at Everton.
Exactly. There you go.
He's already said he can't play in the back 4.
Who?
He went
on the right back. Franz Carl went past him. Yeah, no, forget that.
Franz got the head down and started running.
Yeah.
All right, Craig.
Don should have 2-footed him.
Well, he did that quite often.
I know he did.
Yeah.
Look at him acting on. Right,
Okay,
Craig, who's more likely to finish top 7 this season? Leicester, West Ham, Aston Villa or Newcastle?
Do you know, I was slightly concerned about Leicester. They had a poor season by their standards last year. It all depends on their recruitment this year. They had a lot of defensive problems. I'm trying to think about all the things that happened. Soyuncu, James Justin was injured, who's a good young player. Lots of problems at the back. Talking about selling Tielemans, potentially that could happen. That's not going to go down well. Who were the other teams? Villa,
West Ham, Villa and Newcastle.
Got to be West Ham.
No,
especially if they get Scamacca.
I think Newcastle could spring a little surprise, if it is a surprise. They've got a new keeper in Pope. They've almost got an all-new back 4, pretty much. All the old guard are out. Even the captain Lascelles last year was out. They got the lad that came in from, is it Gomares? I can't remember his name exactly. The playmaker.
Yeah.
If they get themselves, and I don't think have they bought another striker? I know they bought Chris Wood.
No, not yet.
They get themselves somebody that can poke the ball in the back of the net on a regular basis with their money.
I'm going to go with Don, West Ham. They're talking about Scamacca going there, who's scored 16 goals last year. He's 6'5". He can also run. He's a decent player.
That's what they said about Sebastian Haller.
They did, yes. But I think Scamacca would work slightly harder than Haller did at West Ham. West Ham, with Moyes there, they've got a settled side. They're going to add to it. They're going to get.
I don't see Villa doing it, do you?
No, not at all.
All right, so you're sticking with Newcastle?
Top 7? Yeah, I could see them.
2 West Ham, 1 Newcastle.
There you go, you're outvoted. Craig, what profile of manager do you prefer? The hard-nosed totalitarian drill sergeant or the more inspirational motivator?
Just an honest one, I don't care.
You don't care?
No, I just one that you can respect. I mean, how do you say that word?
Totalitarian.
I think it rarely works with players sometimes. I think it's a bit of come and go. I always just liked a manager that you knew where you stood. And there was very little politics. And if you weren't playing well, you knew you weren't playing well and blah, blah. And I had quite a few of them, like Jim Smith and a lot of others, and I've always preferred that.
Yeah, obviously Bobby Gould for you.
Yeah, I mean, there were... Yeah.
Loves Bobby.
All I wanted to do is play under managers that, as Craig said, were honest, that were good tactically and gave you information rather than just shouting and screaming, because that never worked with me. And Bobby Gould was a clown, so I just couldn't work under him.
What about you, Don?
I was quite easy going, Kay. I was one of them where me and Craig both played with Craig Brown.
Easy going?
Yeah.
Don Hutchinson?
No, honestly, I was one of them where it was all about, not all about me, but it was like the pride.
I think
you were right first time. It's all about you.
No. I had pride in my work. I wanted to play well, and it didn't matter if I had Graham Souness, who was honest and brilliant, or Peter Reid, honest and brilliant, or whether it was Glenn Roeder, who was really, really nice, calm, chilled. Me and Craig played under Craig Brown, another one. I think it's all on you. I think the modern day fan get caught up in this. Oh, which type of manager would you like? It's on you as a player. You adapt to the manager. If it's Graham Souness, well, don't be soft. Get on with your job. Be hardworking. Do the things that he wants you to. If it's Glenn Roeder, if it's Craig Brown, you got a different voice, different message. Deal with it.
I remember Wim Jansen, late Wim Jansen, who died earlier this year or a few months ago, when I went to Celtic. And Jansen obviously played in the great Dutch teams with Cruyff and blah, blah, blah. And he was a very quiet guy. And so at one point I was scoring a lot of goals from the middle of the park, box to box. I was flying every game. And then I had a little lull. And he didn't say much. And I still trained away and blah, blah. And then, a couple of games went by and I was not playing as well. And maybe I just wasn't, I don't know, couldn't put my finger on it. And he come up to me before one of the games, and it was like 10 minutes to kick off, 20 minutes or whatever. And he just went like that as he was going around the boys, as he did, having a little word, and he went, too many runs into the box. And he walked off. Just before the game. And I went, so when I got on the pitch, I'm now thinking harder about, run out the box, make another run, make another. I was thinking about timing. And it all came about because he said to me, and obviously he'd seen the last 2 or 3 games where...
So you were wasting a load of energy making runs where you never got the ball, is that what you were saying?
Correct. And I had this little lull, and he said to me, and then I had a longer lull, which I didn't really, but it just made me think, and that's a different way of doing things. Another manager might have come up to you in midweek and said, you've been garbage, you're not playing well. Well, that's fine, but give me a little bit of feedback. And his feedback was very subtle, and it just made me think when I'm on the pitch, right, I don't need to be doing that every time because it's predictable. Let's be less predictable. And as a player, I just think that makes you think rather than, you're just rubbish to this. You've been garbage the last 3 weeks.
As I've told you, the best bit of sort of motivation came when I'd been captain of Coventry, player of the year. Bobby Gould turned up and he said, you had too much influence on that team and too much influence on the club. I'm going to stop that. That was his opening line to me. Doesn't really inspire you, does it?
No.
No.
It doesn't.
Well, he wondered why I didn't like him.
And I know Bobby because I played with his boy and that, and I've always got on well with Bob. But that's telling me that he's potentially...
They didn't like Stuart.
No. Well, he's not alone there, is he?
Yeah, no,
but he's afraid of a senior player.
Yeah.
Wary of a senior player. And I think we've all met a few of those, and they stick out like a sore thumb. When they come in and they're all the younger lads and blah, 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 and it's like, I don't want anybody who's going to question my authority, almost.
And I did challenge him. I challenged him on a regular basis.
Just you get on with Bobby Gould, I get on with Bobby Gould. We all get on so well. It's a great
Bobby's
guy.
a funny guy, isn't he?
Yeah,
it's him, isn't it? It's him.
For everyone, if you had the chance to play in any league at any era, which would you choose and why, Don?
Serie A in the 90s.
Why?
Without a doubt. I loved Italian football. Loved it. Milan sides, the Inter sides, the Juves, Del Piero. You go all the way back to Baggios and the great AC Milan sides. I'd have loved to have played in that era.
Serie A in the 80s,
yeah.
when I was playing, I saw Liam Brady go from Arsenal and go and play for Juventus, so I watched him play, and there was massive crowds, and the tempo was very slow, but it was technical. It just looked to be a great league to play in. It was the best in the world at the time.
Serie A when Maradona in the 80s when he went to Napoli.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that was before my time, but that was. 90s were great, weren't it? But when Maradona went there, Napoli, let's be honest, they didn't have the money, did they? they may have took a little loan from other people.
May have got some help. Yeah.
And it was just, it exploded, didn't it? And he just got kicked from pillar to post every week, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because you could get away with that then.
Yep.
The challenges. Mind you, the challenges in Spain back in the day. My God, in La Liga.
Goycochea, the butcher of Bilbao.
Goycochea, yeah.
I remember.
Good God.
Go and watch the Maradona documentary if you haven't already. It's
Amazing.
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Do you lot have middle names? I
Yes.
just found out some Europeans do not have them.
William.
Craig William Burley.
Correct.
Billy.
It's on my-
Billy is the other word.
William.
Billy Burley.
It's on my passport.
See, my
granddad.
middle name is Ian, and if you, quite rightly, if you do my initials, that's
Sir.
yeah,
S-I-R.
that's
Wow.
That's why I'm such a snob, really.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we've
probably
got a
Gould would have
doctor.
seen
We've
that.
got a doctor on the panel
Gouldy
now
would
in
have seen
Chaka,
that.
so
Why is he a doctor?
Gouldy
got
would
an
have
honorary
seen that.
doctorate.
Goldie saw that. Yeah, you're right.
He's a
Get him
doctorate,
out.
a doctorate of vacations. He's a doctorate of doing
Of sleeping,
nothing.
of sleeping.
A doctor of sleeping. Doctor of days off.
Done.
Don, what's your middle name?
No, ain't got
No.
one. No,
Is
just
that because
Donald
it's been too hard to
Hutchison.
remember?
No, the old man kept it simple.
Did you give the kids middle names, Don?
Yes.
You did.
We've got a Dougie Ray Hutchison. Sounds like a saxophone player. And we've got a Fletch Jack Hutchison. And
Miller-
little
did
Miller
Miller
is
get
Miller
one?
Paul.
Should have called one of his
Paul.
kids Harry, shouldn't he? Harry Hutchinson. That's
Harry
the best. Yeah,
Hutchinson,
Harry
that's good.
Hutchinson. That would have been a bit. Yeah.
Hutchison. I went with my three. I went because I'm not a big fan of middle names. I just don't see the point, and so none of my grown-up kids have middle names. I just
What about you?
But it's a
Grown-up
chance
kids?
to
What
get
about your
another
younger kids
name.
then? You said you got grown-up kids as if you had some younger
well,
ones.
19 is the youngest is 19. I mean that's pretty. 19-year-olds are grown up, aren't they?
But once they
Sometimes.
hit 18, all their middle names were taken away from them. Because
No,
they were
I
too
just
old.
well, come on then.
My middle name's Louise. My husband's European, doesn't have a middle name.
Why not?
But my kids have got middle names Massimo and Mattia.
Anyone know Mark Walters' middle name? Former Liverpool player.
And a very good played for England youth with me. He was magnificent when he was a young boy at Aston Villa.
Do you know his middle name?
No.
No.
not
Like
a clue.
Pele or something.
Everton.
Everton.
Everton is.
After Everton
Yes.
Weeks, the cricketer.
Everton.
Chaka's got a middle name, hasn't he?
What is it?
I don't
So
know.
when you named your
Shaka's-
kids,
you know, Shane. Do you know this? I presume you know this. Shaka's name is not actually Shaka.
Oh,
What is it? Doctor?
No.
Ooh.
I always get this wrong, but I think it's Neil.
it is.
Oh, it's on the email,
It's
isn't
Neil.
it?
I don't
It
know.
is,
I
it's
don't read
Neil.
emails.
No, is it?
Just right.
It is. I think it's Neil.
Yes.
Neil Shaka.
I think so.
No. Neil Hislop.
Why is he calling himself Shaka?
I don't know. Neil Shaka.
He had it on his
Sounds
number
cool.
plate.
His name's
Maybe you sport a number plate with Shaka written. He thought, I'll tell you what, I'll call myself that.
He's obviously just thought his mum and dad, his parents, have named him Neil, and he's thought, sod that. I'm not. I don't look like a Neil. I'm going to call myself something else.
So when you named your kids those middle names, were you watching Spartacus at the time or something like that?
Anyway,
Italian names always sound a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit like that. The kids have got Italian names because they've got an Italian
Well, I've just
name.
had a grandson, and my daughter has called him Octavius, which
Well, that's a cool name.
interesting.
I like
Ocky.
it.
Octavius.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
that. That's
He
pretty
wouldn't
cool.
have got.
No, not
he'd have got
like-
hammered and Gateshead.
It's not. It's not. You got to go. The kid's got to go to school.
I know, that's what I thought. But Ocky, they call it.
Octavius. How can you go to the front door when you try to get your kid in it?
That's Stuart's grandson.
Yeah, you're talking about my grandson now.
He won't know. Not yet.
Not yet, he won't.
Octavius. I mean, you even raised your eyebrows at that.
He's called Ocky, apparently.
Okay.
Okay.
Ocky.
Oh well.
Jockey on the Ocky.
Have we had Don? Have you had any more kids
No.
since we've been on air? No.
Not yet.
He sent 5 more
Time.
tweets, though.
Not yet. Yeah, he's going to have to ring Frank, isn't he, to find out what he said after that
I will.
game.
I'll get some goss for you.
Yes, please do. And come on the show and tell us it.
He's got him. He sees his blocked. Lampard's like that. Blocked.
All right, thanks so much for sending in your tweets and some good questions there. We'll let the middle name one. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again.
Is Neil in?
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.